Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to Stellaris. We're playing with the new Federation's expansion as the Restored Quirkian League, and trying to cut off some of our neighbors from various expansion opportunities. We've locked in all of that. We've locked in all of this. We've now locked in all of this. Haven't technically locked in all of this yet, but that will come. Once I get over to Egowick, then that will be
construction complete.
Guaranteed mine. Strong energy emissions from an unknown origin make this asteroid stand out from the rest of its peers in this crowded asteroid field. Go ahead and research that. Alright, let's go ahead and get scat. That's one that I want because it has an archaeological site. Thuban I want because it has an archaeological site. And I would just like to get over to Bazanak as well. This is, of course, increasing our Empire sprawl, but that's fine. Not too concerned about that.
Spaceport under attack.
Asteroid approaching Scorpio 4. The small astrometric lab on our observation post orbiting Scorpio 4 has detected a Class 4 asteroid on an incoming trajectory. Unless action is taken, it will impact the planet's northern hemisphere with enough force to cause an extinction-level event. Our mission of passive observation would typically prohibit us from intervening, but many of our scientists have argued for an exception in this case. To do nothing would mean to condemn the Alvanian civilization on Scorpio 4 to certain death. A difficult situation. Late medieval. It is not even all that far away.
Anomaly detected.
I mean, there's a difference between interfering in their actual life and letting them all die, right? Sensors pick up unexpected activity from an isolated point on Baxby-2's frozen surface. Go ahead and research that. So these guys have not been out here to explore.
Special project complete.
Exotic radiation. This particular asteroid is an extrasolar capture and appears to have been washed by some kind of exotic radiation as it plummeted through interstellar space before finally settling in the Fomalhaut system. The original source of this radiation remains unknown, but the ISS Paradoxus has been able to pick up a wealth of physics data by studying the asteroid's energy emissions. Okay. For all their efforts at secrecy, traces of the observer's clumsy meddling are everywhere on Julau 3. Evidence suggests that the planet was inhabited by a psionically linked consciousness of plantoids that were in the midst of a religious awakening, when a mysterious alien race, referred to as the Gatekeepers, descended upon them without warning. From that point on, the plants became obsessed with the idea of an impending apocalyptic event called the Grey Tempest. Their formerly peaceful religion soon spiraled into a suicide cult. Within a matter of months, one of the galaxy's most ancient life forms had wilted away for fear of a doomsday that would never come, despite repeated attempts at forced rehydration. Rest in peace, frail flowers. 250 society research. Hits a little close to home since we're flowers ourselves. Alright, we've got a destroyer. Fleet command limit plus 10. Not going to go for living metal. That's a bit much. Let's go for the mining station output. And I really do need to get more science. I'm feeling that I'm going a little bit slow. Alright, so, not fleet manager, ship designer. We'll just go with that for now. Fleet manager, add ship design. Okay. That will slow down our production this way a little bit, but I think we'll be okay. I think we'll gain enough. The Exile. Readings originate from a small research outpost which the Restored Quirkian League has no records of establishing or indeed authorizing on the surface of Baxby-2. It is staffed by one Quirkian scientist, a fairly talented and industrious one if their research on Baxby-2 is anything to go by. There's a problem with regards to their identity, however. We have been unable to match them against official state records, and they refuse to identify themselves save for stating that they are in exile. They've expressed an interest in returning to Albus and serving the restored Quirkian League directly, on the condition that the ISS Tenoclaris immediately depart Bax B2, and no Quirkian ships ever return there. Sure. Why not? See how good you are. Archaeologist. Okay. I'm going to bump that up to the top.
Survey complete.
The geoscape of Fomalhaut 7 is dominated by what appears to, from orbit to be silvery metallic crystals of dimensions never before seen. From orbit, they eerily resemble skyscrapers. Closer study is warranted. 67 days, sure. We'll go ahead and check that. I like how it's like the decision is
Complete.
put in a situation of like, well, we may intervene, we may not, and the people on the station are just like, nope, we're doing it, we're shooting it down, don't care. Go ahead and get to that alloy there. Okay, science ship. Okay, let's go ahead and do the Zvan Labs. We can come over here and do some of these things.
Construction complete.
Nanite crystal lattices. A detailed analysis of the enormous metallic crystals dominating Fomalhaut 7's landscape have defied all expectations. Science Officer Violet Garland is excited to reveal that these oversized crystals are in fact composed of trillions upon trillions of deactivated nanites. Their molecular structure matches no known empire's nanotechnology signatures, making their point of origin indeterminable. They may have been deposited on the planet by some unknown spacefarers for an unknown purpose. As far as Violet Garland can tell, the nanites compiled themselves into perfectly oriented crystalline lattices and replicated until a point at which they became deactivated. While the crystals they created do in fact resemble buildings, they are entirely uniform in composition and cannot possibly have served any such purpose. Incredible. 200 more nanites, Elgate Insight, and 250 engineering research. It kind of feels like the only thing that you really get out of the origin that we've chosen is a couple planets with colonial remains. Alien writing. Someone used a mining laser from orbit approximately 5,000 years ago to carve a large body of writing on the surface of Peia 1A. The massive script covers a large portion of the moon's upper hemisphere, and appears to be a short story chronicling the difficult life of an alien mercenary. Fascinating.
Construction complete.
Okay, let's go down to a shipso.
Survey complete.
Got a tropical world out there. Yeah, once they're done with this leg, they're gonna circle back around and check out everything else. Well, that was quick. Asteroid destroyed. The asteroid that was heading towards Scorpio 4 has been destroyed before it could reach the planet's surface. What fragments reached the atmosphere burned up safely before they could cause any harm. Aside from having witnessed what must have been a spectacular meteor shower, the primitive aliens of the Alvanian civilization have no idea how close to extinction they just came. Nor will they.
Survey complete.
Alright, Bax is all done. Cosmic Diamond. While on the surface, Polygar appears to be an ordinary white dwarf, the star hides an intriguing secret. By studying Polygar's pulsations, the ISS Boralmus crew has discovered its composition to be an almost entirely crystallized carbon. This astronomical crystal lattice seems to have formed as a star cooled, originating in its gas-fusing core and growing outward over time. Polygar is a diamond of cosmological proportions, glinting behind a white veil of oxygen and helium. Fascinating.
Survey complete.
Kind of surprised that you can't do more with that.
Anomaly detected.
Ah, they have cut me off from that direction. Those jerks. Despite expected projections, Trimus 2 has a particularly large solid core beneath its incredibly thick mantle of unique gases. Our scientists recommend further investigation. Let's go ahead and research that one. Alright, so they have an archaeological site, hole in the ground. Orbital telemetry shows a massive impact crater on the surface of Hirma 6A. It was not caused by a meteorite strike, as the crater is surprisingly deep in proportion to its diameter. In fact, the actual depth cannot yet be determined, as the shaft is choked by rock debris part of the way down, blocking any further orbital scans. It appears that a conventional excavation is the only way to find out what lies below. It's a shame. It's a good system. Alright, that's pretty much going to be
Construction complete.
limiting my where I can
Technology discovered.
expand to. The ISS Javis has entered the Trunt system, and its crew is reporting that a stellar object not unlike the Shrine to the Untold is indeed orbiting the star. I see. Let's go ahead and check that out. Speculative hyperlane breaching. That could still get me beyond the boundaries of where I have been. Actually, I could get out to these guys and start exploring. Research alternatives increased by 1, and scientist level cap increased by 2. Should have taken that before I took the tech. Oh well. It's not a huge deal.
Construction complete.
It's kind of weird that they took so long to build out here, though.
Special project complete.
Invisible Death. Our scientists have returned from the Zvan labs unscathed with footage collected from the facility's security cameras. It shows lab scientists bound and gagged as guerrilla soldiers pry open the weapon's strongbox. But to their dismay, the box is empty. Only minutes later, the rebels can be seen writhing on the floor in intense agony. Dark patches swelling across their bodies, then their skin rips and a gray, unidentified matter spills out. The matter continues to expand, swirling hypnotically around them until one of the scientists activates the emergency system. Sprinklers douse the room in liquid, and an electrical surge passes through it, executing all living things. Here the footage ends. Our crew can confirm that the strongbox was indeed empty. Spooky. Get super solid materials. Let's go ahead and research that. And do that. Elgate Insights. Excellent. As the crew returning from the Zvan labs were decontaminated, we identified an alien substance on their protective wear. Upon closer examination, it is proven to be fragments of microscopic robots, turned into a fine gray dust. Among the samples, we found an intact nanite carrying instructions for attaching bolts to a structure we believe could be a gateway. This molecular construct may have had an integral part in assembling the entire Elgate network. Ancient Medical Complex. Astounding news from the ISS Juraeus. Deep scans have revealed the unexpectedly large solid core of Trimus 2 to be covered with the compressed remains of a sprawling medical complex, millions of years old. Though the intense mantle pressure of the gas giant severely limits the amount of data we can extract from the core's surface, Science Officer Violet Bloom reports the hidden structure to match, beyond a doubt, the technology used in the enigmatic L-gates. The crew hypothesizes Trimus 2 was a planetary medical facility created by the gate builders millennia ago. At some point, the complex was abandoned, and its automated gas replicators ran unchecked for untold centuries, gradually converting the planet into a gas giant. Incredible. Alright, Trimus 2. That is that one. We'll get plus 2 exotic gases, 250 society research. Very nice. Can't do anything about that yet, though. Alright, Wenkwort Artem. Artisans output. What exactly are artisans again? Are those, Alright, civilian industries. Okay, artisans output plus 20%. I guess I'll do civilian industries. I don't see anything about science, so... Yep, we'll do some civilian industries. We are only getting plus 5, so I should get more. Be a good idea. Signs of activity. The drop pods surrounding Tiblik 6 have been drifting powerless for quite some time. The ISS Boralmus reports that whatever aliens these pods were transporting are now but withered husks on board, having evidently perished hundreds of years ago. One sole pod, however, has shown signs of onboard activity. While its engines were disabled, scans suggest its communication array is undamaged. We can hail him. We don't have time for this. On screen. The Caretaker. Initiating communications protocol. Hello, unidentified visitor C. I am Caretaker AX7B of Zolexin Drop Pod 175. I have been programmed to assist citizens during the resettlement procedure. Unfortunately, a hyperdrive malfunction led drop pods 114 through 175 to exit hyperspace 18 parsecs from our intended destination. I have attended the citizens as best I could. I even managed to prevent cannibalism for 1,840 days. Unfortunately, their air supply eventually ran out. Do you have citizens in need of tending unidentified visitor C? If so, I would be happy to care for them. We cannot permit an AI to run without surveillance. Fire on that pod! We have no need of your service beyond the analysis of your parts. 250 engineering research, or... This sounds like a great idea! We would be happy to have you! Darn tootin'! Excellent! I am ready to serve. Welcome to the Restored Quirkian Lead, Caretaker AX7B. Okay, so he is AI-aided design, ship build speed plus 20%, ship build cost minus 10%, analytical, engineering research from jobs, physics research from jobs, and society research from jobs. I mean, I do like the bureaucrat trait, so... He's age 709. Immortal, will never die of old age. Well, I don't have a use for him at the moment. Unless... Yeah, Peya is not. So Peya can... Peya is not in a thingy-do. So I could definitely put them there. Physics research from jobs also. That's not bad.
Anomaly detected.
A remarkable array of gases are being vented on Impan 1A. Ones not usually found on molten worlds. Some of these gases show promising industrial value. Go ahead and research that one over there. Also, we discovered a archaeological site. The echoes inside. Readings from Impan B2A reveal that it was once mostly covered in lush vegetation. Now the forlorn orb is little more than a barren rock. Despite lacking any noteworthy tectonic activity, sensory scans of the planet have registered puzzling seismographic data. Something is moving underground. Something big. This warrants further investigation. Okay, I am definitely going to want to get over there.
Anomaly detected.
Barren lifeless world is showing signs of once having supported a biosphere. We'll go ahead and research that.
Special project complete.
Old Gods, Shrine to the Percipient. Alright, I have basically gotten that in like every single campaign, so I'm not going to read all that. It will show up in... it will show up in one of your campaigns, too, if you're playing. Extremophilia, Violet Oak, and their crew have made a surprising discovery on Impan 1A. The molten planet is home to an exotic array of extremophilic microorganisms. These bacteria live deep inside the volcanic vents that scar the planet, thriving in the extremely high temperatures produced there. This unprecedented find is our first known example of organic life forms flourishing on molten planets. Moreover, the extremophiles on Impan 1A are in fact responsible for the rare gases detected in its thin atmosphere, producing these valuable compounds as a byproduct of their metabolic processes. Sounds good to me. Wreckage identified. Our crew aboard the ISS Beralmus report that the Tiblik B shipwreck appears to have been the result of an unexpected geomagnetic solar storm. The supply ship suffered a complete loss of life support systems and sustained inoperable damage, drifting until it entered Tiblik B's gravity well. There are no survivors. The ship's cargo hold does indeed contain a notable amount of minerals, however. The captain of the ISS Beralmus cautions that the construction indicates Kvefa's designs. It is highly likely that the minerals belong to the Republican Kvefa's systems, and they may be displeased should we lay claim to their shipment. We need those minerals. 300! Ooh. Wow. 300. Yay. That is pretty close to them. We'll not risk an altercation. This will please them and increase our influence. That's what I want. Alright, exotic gases. Didn't we have exotic gases before? I guess not from an event like that. Terraforming candidate discovered.
Construction complete.
Wreckage cargo return. Korkians, we have received word of our downed supply ship's cargo. We would like to extend our gratitude to you for taking the time to recover it, without the need for Kvefa's intervention. Our pleasure. Gain 1 favor, and 100 influence, and their opinion changes by plus 20. Not that that matters that much. Alright, keep pushing out.
Technology discovered.
0G refineries, plus 10% mining station output, nebula refineries, super solid materials, let's definitely go for that. Scientist has leveled up. Edic Monolithic. Neats 5A is uninhabited, and indeed uninhabitable, but not unvisited. Its surface is littered with tall cenotaphs carved from some mineral not native to the planet, evidently placed there by some artistically inclined spacefaring race. The monolith's flowing lines deftly chart a history so fantastical it must surely be fictional. Surely. Image them for the archive, or we could get some, we can make digital reproductions of the monoliths widely available in our empire. I'll just go with 350. That's fine by me.
Technology discovered.
Frequency tuning. Gonna hold off on regenerative hull tissue because that will take a while. Naval capacity could be good. Terraforming gases, terraforming. I think that naval capacity is a little bit more useful considering that I just went over my limit. Because when I filled out this fleet, I wasn't paying attention to that. Limbo. The signal originates from the remains of an antenna-like structure. Exploratory probes were dispatched from the ISS Beralmus to the surface to investigate the matter more closely. What Science Officer Olive Maple found was a cavernous vault that, while easily pried open, was evidently the last safe house and refuge of some long-dead race of aliens. While reasonably technologically advanced, it seems they never reached for the stars and perished to some planet-wide natural disaster. The vault is immense, housing thousands upon thousands of black boxes that the ISS Beralmus has determined to be data storage devices. A special project has been prepared to decode their contents.
Log updated.
Let's go ahead and research that. Why not?
Survey complete. Special project complete.
The Vault is a tomb for hopeful immortals. Science Officer Olive Maple asserts that the huge blocks of ternary code found in the databanks are neural images, digitized brain scans. Doubtless the aliens of Tiblik 4 considered this their only shot of any kind of survival, following whatever calamity befell their planet. They did not have the means to resurrect themselves, but banked on the impossibly small hope that eventually someone else would have those means. We do not, but download their neural patterns for safekeeping.
Survey complete. Anomaly detected.
And Dressel 3 is frozen and anonymous to optical scans, but heat signatures indicate some activity just below the surface. Go ahead and research that. We've got a tundra world here. Nothing special. Tundra, desert, and continental. It's pretty good. Okay, election time. Caretaker AX7B is running. I would like to run this nation. It would be an honor. Monthly influence +1, starbase upgrade cost. You could literally just have him be the ruler forever after that, if he won. That would be hilarious. I'm not going to support him. That would be would genuinely be hilarious, though.
Construction complete.
Okay, let's get over here to Nishpan. And Peya has been colonized. Alright, so we've got physics research. In that case, I think that I would like to focus on trying to get this thing to be a science world. So let's start by building a city district.
Complete.
Frozen wastes. Some species thrive in harsh environments, such as the chilly biosphere of Dressel 3. Science Officer Violet Bloom has taken a special interest in one of the types of creatures that skitter across the planet's face, and is of the belief that they may achieve sapience with just a push in the right direction. Something to keep in mind for the future. Ooh. Mirren, where are you? Cybernetic. Oh, yeah, these are those guys, alright. Mirren? Huh. Let me go until the next month.
Construction complete.
Special project completed. The crew of the ship has been found dead. What is more disturbing is that they appear to have been killed by some highly advanced brain parasite, which infested them and drove them mad. Thanks to Science Officer Olive Maple's findings, we were able to protect our own crew from being infected. Oh, good. 150. Mirren? Not gonna show up for me, huh? Okay. Alright, Bralmus. Let's see what else we got. That's a pretty lengthy one. We'll go for that. Run back there to those. Go build that stuff. Go build that one. And when we come back next time, we will continue to push down, maybe get Baxum, probably stop at Bazanak, though. But we are also, I think we got speculative hyperlane breaching, didn't we? Yes, we did. Alright, so once I have some a science ship free, I will pop them over into the Cavelli corporate holdings and just start exploring. Anyway, that will be in the future. See you next time, everyone.